In Midtown Manhattan early this morning, 50-year-old Brian Thompson, the CEO of UnitedHealthcare, was shot and killed in what appears, at this early stage of our investigation, to be a brazen, targeted attack. This does not appear to be a random act of violence. The victim was in New York City to speak at an investor conference. It appears the suspect was lying in wait for several minutes. And as the victim was walking to the conference hotel, the suspect approached from behind and fired several rounds, striking the victim at least once in the back and at least once in the right calf. Many people passed the suspect, but he appeared to wait for his intended target. The suspect fled, first on foot, then on an e-bike, and was last seen in Central Park on Center Drive early this morning.
NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch addressed the media Wednesday over the targeted murder of the CEO of UnitedHealthcare in the middle of Manhattan. And it's clear that the department is focused on quickly solving this crime.
The victim was removed to Roosevelt Hospital, where he was pronounced. We've been in touch with his family, his friends, and his colleagues, and they are very much in our thoughts and prayers at this hour. The full investigative efforts of the New York City Police Department are well underway, and we will not rest until we identify and apprehend the shooter in this case. The women and men of the NYPD take enormous pride in the work that they do each day and each night to drive down crime and violence in our city. Right now, we are asking the public for your help. If you have any information about this case, call Crime Stoppers at 800-577-TIPS. We have increased the reward in this case to $10,000. I want to be clear. At this time, every indication is that this was a premeditated, pre-planned, targeted attack.
This is obviously not just another gun-related murder in America, as major news outlets that wouldn't normally blink at the killing of a victim that worked at a corner store are now setting up shop to report the details.
To get out of the way so we can zoom in on the crime scene, so you can see all these investigators on the scene here at the Hilton Hotel in the heart of Manhattan. Now, I punctuated the fact that they right now believe it was a targeted attack. One thing I actually noticed as I was getting here to the scene, now Hilton Hotel here in Manhattan, it covers like a half of an avenue of New York City. That's a lot of real estate. There is actually multiple entrances to the hotel. So it's very clear that this suspect, who police are still looking for, knew which entrance that Thompson was going to enter at about 6:45 this morning. That, of course, is probably something investigators already knew and are looking into. But what we know from police is that about that time, at the height of rush hour, at the height of tourist season here in the middle of the city, police believe that this gunman stood outside that hotel entrance for about 10 minutes or so, according to sources, was wearing a mask when Thompson was arriving at this hotel for a conference that was expected to happen in the ballroom.
What was later reported was that even the manager of a parking garage, who was right across the street from the hotel where the shooting took place, didn't hear any gunshots, because the gunman used a silencer as he fired those multiple shots.
We're told by sources telling our John Miller that gunman fired from about 20 feet away, several shots, hitting Thompson, and then fled, actually ran down a back alley and onto a bicycle. Sources telling me that then took off toward the area of Central Park. Now, you can imagine right now at this stage of the investigation, investigators are pulling video from areas all around here, trying to piece together exactly who this person is. Obviously, it's hindered by the fact that they believe he was wearing some sort of a mask, but also where that person went. So this is obviously very early in the investigation. A lot of questions to still answer, including the fact, what is the motive here? Why did this person, what they believe targeted this Thompson at this time?
While CNN is waiting for a motive, most everyone discussing the news is pretty sure they know what the reasons were. Honestly, with the grotesque, profit-driven way healthcare is run in this country, I'm shocked that what happened to Brian Thompson doesn't happen more often. Now, while that was simply an acknowledgement of the possible motive and expectations for more, many others outright celebrated it.
Have you guys heard the good news? They say it was a targeted attack. And personally, the gunman is at large. So if you see anything, no, you didn't. Oh, you think no, you didn't. Protect this person. Also, do more. That's a hero. That's my hero right there.
Your responses took off from there, with charts and stats on the number of health insurance claims that are rejected by companies, with UnitedHealthcare, Brian Thompson's company, leading the way. The focus on how his company has engaged in denying life-saving care to so many paying customers or leaving them with debilitating debt has been met with disdain by some. But I'm seeing a lot more celebrating the possibility of this being a vengeful plot. UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson was fatally shot in New York City today. I will not shed one tear for the CEO of a greedy insurance company. Instead, I weep for every person who has died due to a lack of health care and for the 100 million Americans saddled with medical debt. Oh no, Brian Thompson, CEO of UnitedHealthcare, was shot and killed today. He died in the hospital upon arrival, likely due to the gunshot being a pre-existing condition. Congratulations to Brian Thompson for avoiding a long and expensive end-of-life illness filled with struggles to obtain care from insurance companies that employ AI to deny 90% of claims submitted. So many people feel that this murder was a justified act that some are upset that the authorities quickly put together a reward to apprehend the killer. Just remember, police doesn't give a if one of us dies, but immediately put a $10,000 reward because it was a CEO of a health insurance company. Brian Thompson was from Minnesota, which caught the attention of Kamala Harris's running mate and governor of the state, prompting him to post, "This is horrifying news and a terrible loss for the business and healthcare community in Minnesota. Minnesota is sending our prayers to Brian's family and the UnitedHealthcare team." But he couldn't catch a break either after his condolences were met with posts like this. "This is the good side, caring more about a black-hearted insurance CEO than anyone harmed by his criminal policies. I hope Brian Thompson burns for eternity and every other healthcare CEO is scared to be in public for the rest of their miserable lives. And again, Tim Walz." Listen, this entire scenario is bad news no matter which way you look at it. The rich, powerful, and connected are obviously being put on notice, not solely by this gunman, but by the large numbers of people supporting or celebrating his gruesome murder. They're voicing their own stories of their lives being turned upside down by a lack of affordable health care or practices that destroyed them financially. And since these stories are far from brand new, people are illustrating that they don't have anything else to lose in their dismissive responses. But they may not be taking into account how this kind of fear may prompt the wealthy class to demand responses from our elected officials that could erode some more of our basic rights. We've been shown by elected leaders from both major parties that they're willing to break rules and standards when it comes to protecting their people from this kind of vitriol, no matter what the circumstances are. So just as quickly as requests for help from the community and cash rewards were set up, legislation could also be drawn up to erode regular Americans' rights in terms of surveillance and prosecution over promoting more attacks like this one. Right now, people are reacting with a lot of pent-up frustration and fatigue with a system that always takes from the majority to enrich the few at the top. But I'd be on the lookout for a serious response from folks that aren't used to being targeted like this, to reinstall some fear that seems to be fading.
They done killed the CEO of UnitedHealthcare in broad daylight as he was walking up to his hotel to attend a conference for UnitedHealthcare. Please, let's chit chat. What I need to remember is I'm on topic, even if it feels like I'm off topic. Today is December 4th. Today is the day that they are getting ready to light the Christmas tree in Rockefeller Center. Why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because that means that the area in which Brian Thompson, that's the CEO of UnitedHealthcare, was pumed down with the street artillery, it was blocked off, right? So how did the gunman get there? I'm a Jersey girl through and through until I moved to Atlanta, right? And then when I moved back to Jersey, I told my husband, yo, I never went to the first day of the tree lighting in Rockefeller Center. You should take me. And that man said, ain't no way in hell I'm going to New York City on the day that they light in the tree in Rockefeller Center because the people be acting crazy. And I thought the man was paranoid until today. Was it a setup? Is Olivia Pope involved? Is Hondo and them going to come and investigate? We do not know. But what I do know is, ready for 2024 to wrap it up. God bless and prayers to Brian Thompson and his family.